Reason.
Please bow your heads. Dear God, as we gather here today, we humbly ask for your divine wisdom to guide us. Help us to approach this meeting with open hearts and minds, ready to listen and learn from one another. Grant us the wisdom to make wise decisions with the issues we will discuss this evening. We ask that you bless and protect our men and women in the military and our first responders, to include our law enforcement officers. Please bless and watch over each and every one of us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge to the flag of our country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great state of Texas.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to keep Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you all. You may be seated. Go ahead and take roll call, Scott.
Sir. Mayor Chris Barr.
Here.
Councilmember Mitchell Davis.
Here.
Councilmember David Dwayne. Councilmember Jerry Reesner.
Here.
Councilmember Michael Warwick.
Here.
Councilmember Larry Sanders. City Attorney Scott Francis.
Here.
City Engineer Greg Phipps.
Here.
Chief of Police Chief Stephen Carlisle. Captain Jeff Campbell. City Secretary Marie Campbell. City Administrator Scott Kessler is here.
All right, thank you, Scott. Just move right into I showed two public comments. Scott, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just ground rules, public comments. We ask that when I call your name, you come up to the podium. You have 3 minutes to discuss or talk about anything that you want to talk about with the city council, with the public. City council is not obligated and most likely cannot legally discuss that topic with you, because most likely it may or may not be on my agenda. So with that being said, was these in any particular order?
Ms. Austin.
Ms. Austin, Cheryl Austin, you're up first.
City Council, residents of Roman Forest, my name is Carol Austin. I moved out here in 1973 with my husband when Texas Gulf Industry was the developer of our lovely community. And they appointed him the club manager and golf pro. And I've seen many changes through the years, some good, some bad. And I'm here to address that we have a lateral move from a city council person from one position to another position while still holding that position. So when that becomes up for election, if that person wins, then what will the city council do? They will take all the members and appoint somebody. We do not have enough funds, I'm sure, to call for a special election so that the residents of Roman Forest can also vote. This is a lateral move, and I feel that it should be not open to move over and then be able to vote someone else to fill their position. And this also gives that person one more year on the city council, and should they elect to run for mayor, like in the city of Houston, I understand that they have to resign their council position to run for mayor. In our lovely community, this is not so. So this person can run for mayor. If they don't get elected, they still hold their position in city council. So this is a disservice to us as members of the community and to our lovely city council. And I suggest that they look at it and close all existing loopholes along these lines. Thank you.
Thank you. Enid Morgan, you're up next.
My name is Enid Morgan. I've lived in Roman Forest for 10 years with my husband, Thomas. And I'm going to talk on the same topic, but I'm going to try to fill in some of the facts as I see them. I'm addressing the city council member's bid to make a lateral move on the city council for running for position 1 while still holding position 2. I respectfully request the mayor and city council immediately take action to close this political loophole. Allowing this to happen has no benefit to the city or its residents. While this may be perfectly legal, it disrespects our city's government's processes. A lateral move essentially gives this council person a third year on the city council while forcing the mayor and council to either appoint someone to fill the vacancy or pay for a special election. We are fully aware the city cannot afford a special election. So this is intentionally circumventing the election process. This council member would get to be one of the only 4 participating in the selection of and vote for the person appointed to serve out the remainder of his term. Only 5 people across our entire community will get to decide who will serve, not the voters. That's not how the electoral process is designed to work, and it is a loophole that should be addressed.
Is that it, Scott?
That was it, yes, sir.
Wanted to make sure. Thank you both for your comments, sir. I do appreciate that. Moving on, council, to item 6. This is our consent agenda items. Discuss and approve all items listed under the consent agenda. We will be at the end voting for all consent agenda items together. So let's take a look at our minutes, July 27, 2026. This was a regular council meeting. We are also looking at approving minutes from August 6th, 2026. This was a budget workshop. And minutes from August 11, 2026. This was also a budget workshop. Any questions or comments so far on any of the minutes we're looking at? Moving on to maintenance report, submitted for review. Court report, also submitted for review. Permit summary, permit report. So our seasonal help is maintenance. Our seasonal help, where was that?
It's reasonable.
Last week, we go last week?
Actually left, 2 weeks ago, got a job working for, I think, an energy company, coming online. Hopefully gonna be, flying in someday.
Financial report, here we go.
These are the numbers for July 2026 for Wells Fargo and Texaco. For the general fund, we had $988,376. Reserve fund, we have $405,907. Asset forfeiture, $23,951.
FEMA, $288,334. COVID local recovery, $84,483. 2016 certificate capital projects, $40,310. And the debt service is $193,307 for a total of $2,024,672 for the monthly combined.
Questions for Marie on finance? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
City administrator report, please.
For those residents out there that have not signed up and want to be part of the citywide email updates that I send out every Thursday, you can email me and I'll put you on the list. I find people every day that come into City Hall that aren't on there yet. And if you want to get an update every Thursday from us or close to it, email me and I'll get you on that list. Last Friday, the 21st, the city issued the burn ban for the city of Roman Forest due to the dry conditions and an increased risk of grass and wildfires. This burn ban is in effect until further notice. When it does become, when we take it off, we'll put it on the sign up front. We'll take the signs down as you come into the city, and we'll also put it out by that same email to let everybody know. So, looking at the weather, I don't see that happening anytime soon. But if you're in the heat, stay hydrated. City council elections are coming up November 3rd, 2026. Position 1 is Ms. Crystal Ricky and David Mullane. Position 3, Ray Guzman and Oscar Ramirez Jr. And in position 5 is Ms. Linda Stewart, who is running unopposed. Next Tuesday, September 1st, there will be a public hearing starting at 5:30 to adopt the 2026-2027 budget and tax rate. Proposed rate, 0.5461, is down from last year's 0.5475. That will start at 5:30 right here at City Hall. For those residents out there that have AT&T service, they are fixing to redo your fiber and make it better. Some of you have it, some of you don't. If you don't have it running through your property, you don't have to worry about them coming in and boring through your property, but they are going to get it and try to make it better for all the people that have AT&T or have access to AT&T. That should have already started. They did say they would put a door hanger on your door if they're going to be in your yard. So if you get a door hanger, you'll know why they're there. City swimming pool, we have 2 more weekends that it'll be open. And the splash pad will continue to be open as long as weather permits. We won't turn it off until later on in the fall. Great news from Energy. I see a few people out in the audience that love some energy going down the boulevard. They have started putting yards back, smoothing out the dirt, letting it sink and putting more dirt on top. I do look for them to come and put grass down, hopefully in the near future. I will not put a date on it, but in the near future. But if, like I've always said, if you have problems or something not going right in your yard, give me a call and I'll get a hold of the right people and get them to get a hold of it. A lot of people don't know who EENN Homes are, but the owner of that is Eric Maya. He builds custom homes in our city. He is responsible for our new mailbox out front. All the brick fell off about 6 weeks ago. It just kind of collapsed one day. And he came in, got some brick, tried to match the building as best he could, and did that all free of charge, donated all the materials and labor. So if you happen to know who Eric is or you don't, please give him a thank you when you see him. New court hours, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 8:30 to 2:30. Court is closed on Monday. There's no court clerk, but if you come in, Marie and I'll be more than happy to try and help you. But Tuesday through Thursday, 8:30 to 2:30. And City Hall will be closed on Monday, September 7th for Labor Day. Any questions?
Thank you. Thanks, Scott.
Yes, sir.
Now let's get the special events committee.
So as Scott announced, there are 2 Saturday water aerobic sessions left from 10:30 to 11:30. And when you're doing everything as a volunteer, it's nice when you are appreciated. And everybody from the water aerobics group presented me with this that says, "Notice to all good people, let it be known for her kind and generous acts that directly enriched and enhanced the experience of the aqua aerobics group of Roman Forest. Linda Stewart has hereby earned the title of beloved friend and fearless leader." So I want to thank the water aerobics group. And for all of us that do a whole lot for the city as volunteers, most times we hear about when we're not doing the wrong thing or could have done more. So to hear that we did a good thing, don't forget to do that again. So we also have the military honor banner sign up. There are several people that have gone online. There's a link on most of the different Roman Forest Facebook pages and website. And I encourage you to honor a veteran, those that are killed, Gold Star, killed in action. Their banners will be done for free by the company. Our next community-wide yard sale weekend is September 4th through the 6th. There'll be a sign on the marquee, put your own signs out, and then don't forget to pick them back up. A lot of what I do as events committee are suggestions from people. One of the suggestions was that the cost of gold is up and now's the time to sell. So Gold Adam US will be with their van at the pavilion. No obligation, but they will purchase unwanted gold items that will have direct deposit to your account. And I've gotten with the police department will have security, so it's a safe place to bring your gold, not like coming up to Walmart parking lot or someplace else. So that'll be Saturday, September 5th from 9 o'clock to 2. And I'll have a link. I hope they're supposed to provide me that by Monday. So you can go online and then sign up for a time so that you don't have to wait outside. On Thursday, September 10th, very important evening, 5:30 here, events planning. And so I'm hoping that as many people that have ideas or want to work on the different events will be here Thursday, September 10th at 5:30. Saturday, September 19th, here at 6:30, we're going to do a bunco night here in City Hall. Tuesday, October 6th is the annual National Night Out at the Pavilion featuring our police department and community first responders. And dinner will be available, provided by Italianos. I'm hoping they do it again. Saturday, October 10th, there will be a low-cost drive-through vaccine clinic for dogs and cats. Rabies will only be $20. DAPP and feline vaccines will only be $10, and we will be microchipping free of charge. So that will be across the street drive-through on Saturday, October 10th at Great Village Church parking lot, and then come back to the parking lot on Saturday, October 31st. It's Halloween. We'll have our trunk or treat. And for November, we'll have the Blood Mobile on November 21st, and I'm working with Taylor's organization to do some kind of coffee cruise-in with the Big C. We'll have cycles and cruisers. And the other thing, we're hoping to get our canned goods for people that come up to donate towards some of the Thanksgiving baskets that different groups are doing for Thanksgiving. So that's what's coming up.
Thank you, Linda. Chief, you're up, sir. Chief, Police Department report.
Seems like the busier I am, the smaller writing I have for the report. I guess because it takes so much time to do one thing. But anyway, this is July's report. So I mentioned the 4th of July, the city of Roman Forest held its annual Independence Day parade. Chief Carlisle and Mayor Parr led the procession, and the Roman Forest Police provided full traffic control to ensure the safety of all participants and had several police vehicles included in the parade. Construction has begun on the police department's building expansion. The remaining components are still awaiting final quotes from the electrical, which I'm working on. Got a big meeting on Thursday, and plumbing contractors, which I do have an update later in the agenda. And the permitting process is currently underway. An on-site walkthrough is scheduled prior to the drywall installation, which is tomorrow, and got a couple councilmen going, an engineer, and myself. The Uvalde Strong Act set aside some new laws and rules that the city's got to go by, which includes we have to take a specific class for a public information officer, so I have taken that specific class. I got the certification required by the Texas Division of Emergency Management under the Uvalde Strong Act. House Bill 33 establishes a new requirement for certain law enforcement agencies to designate a public information officer as outlined in Texas Government Code. I gave the number. The Roman Forest Police Department does fall under this mandate. This designated TIO must complete training, obtain a certificate through TDM, and complete annual continuing education. Agencies must submit records of compliance to TDM by September 1st, 2026 is coming up to meet the certification requirement. So another option was to contract with another agency to do all that, but we got that wired, and Captain Campbell went and took the certification course as well. So we got two now. It's not limited to law enforcement, so maybe we might get some on the city side certified eventually. We're good for the deadline of September 1st. And I want to introduce, so I am sad to say, Officer Noel Rockwell has stepped down to reserve. She's now a reserve officer, so life things changed in her life situation, and she decided she wanted to be a reserve officer, and I honored that. And we hired somebody in her place. We just happened to be in the hiring process already, so we already had somebody ready to go. So I want to introduce Officer Thomas Meeks, or Meek, Thomas Meek. I don't know why I always had that. But he's got extensive experience. What, 10-year officer or something like that? 15-year officer. He's got a lot of experience on the streets of Humboldt and Harrison County Fire Marshal's office, and so he's got a decent amount of experience, and I think he was a very good addition to our team and became well recommended. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's Thank you.
So this is his first couple of weeks. I think he started last
Yes, sir.
week before, and his FTO officer's over here waiting for him to get done being introduced so he can go train him some more. But I don't think it really needs a lot of training. It just needs training in how we do things here. So our paperwork and stuff like that. So I think he's an awesome addition. You can have him back now.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So y'all got any questions about this? I am going to give you a little bit of an update when it comes time for the police building.
All good? All good? All right, council. Let's go back and look over. We've got 3 minutes. We are approving as recorded. We've got all of our reports as presented. If there are no questions, additions, motion and a second to accept all agenda items located under item 6.
I'll make the motion to accept all items under proposed and stuff that we're going with.
Motion on the floor, Councilman Sanders, to accept, approve all consent agenda items as presented. Do I have a second? Councilman Reasoner seconds. All in favor of approval? It is unanimous. Moving on to number 7, discuss and consider the status of following projects.
Council. Drainage improvements, we have a meeting set up with city officials, Thornbury Development, Southern Water Systems, and Flood 3 for later this week to discuss some of the items in Section 4 that need to be clarified with all the parties. I do not have anything, well, I do too, road improvements, development improvements, Roman 4 Section 4, Phase 2A. That is the Southern Oak Water Systems project in the back. Icon has started that project. They've got the outfall ditches, for the most part, excavated. They're doing a lot of the roadside ditch grading, putting in storm sewer structures, pipe structures. At this point, we do have pay application number 1 for $363,728.70. We are holding 10% retainage of $40,414.30. So we have a total work to date of $404,143. There's no weather-related delays on this. We also have a change order number 1. This is a item that the original bid was for lime stabilized, paid by the ton. The lab came out, Proctor took samples, and came back and recommended a true blend, which is 3% lime, 7% fly ash. And the weights that they're recommending required a reduction of the lime of the 404 tons, which was $160,792. And then we added that true blend, 510 tons, to $388.82, which was $198,298.20. So the change order was an increase of $37,506.20. We talked to the developer who is paying for this project, got their approval on that, and moved forward to get that work done, but we are bringing this to council as the contract is under the city's name. So with that, we recommend concurrence by council and approval to forward payout number 1 and change order number 1 to the developer for payment and processing.
All right, so I will need a motion, council, to pay application 1, that's that $363,728.70, and to approve change order number 1 as it was presented. That would be the motion we need. If there are no questions or discussion.
Prior to making the motion, I guess I would like to request that we not be given this with 30 seconds to review it for approving $400,000. So if we can get these at least a day before, and preferably when the agenda goes out. So I don't know if they're they're going to bill every 30 days, but not having any chance to look at it or understand it beforehand is something I would like to improve as we go forward. Right? We've only got a 90-day construction period. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, we'll have it to you. We get the payouts a week prior to council, so you'll have them, should have them within 72 hours.
That would be helpful. Thank you very much.
Any other discussion, council? I am asking the council votes to approve pay application 1 in the amount stated, and to approve the
Change order 1.
change order 1. Thank you. Change order 1 as presented.
I'd like to make the motion that we approve the payout in the amount of $404,143 less 10% retainage for $363,728.70, and then approve the change order 1 as written.
Motion has been made by Councilman Davis. Do I have a second? Second, Councilman Sanders. Any other discussion on that? All in favor of approval? It is unanimous.
Thank you. And I have nothing to report on Hubbard Park.
All right, any questions? Mr. Phipps? move on to item 8, consider items related to the police station building expansion and take any action required. Chief, you got some updates for us?
Not a whole lot, but the big updates are probably going to be after tomorrow.
Right. Who owns, they're going, is correct?
Yes, Councilman Sanders and I are both.
Okay, good.
So, again, Chief, just to get this on the table, so I think Councilman Mullane has requested previously that everything we have 72 hours in advance, not as we're going over it.
This is something I put together today.
Right, but we should be updating this monthly. It doesn't give the council a chance to review it in advance to come up
You
with
would have a
questions.
total different document, I was still handing this document out. So today, I got an updated quote from the plumber and reduced the price. So I updated it. That's taking $7,000 out there. So I still got one more, so we'll still see, but, the electrical's been the holdup. So, I got a meeting with the engineer and Entergy and some electricians. They're gonna come out and make sure that they can handle the load the way we are presenting it. And I've got these plans that they came back, that they corrected. They're very simple. But this is what they gave me. The last time I updated y'all, it was what they sent me, and I had red pen written all over it, probably gonna make some corrections. Since then, the mayor, Councilman Davis, and myself, and the engineer, we've sat down and met. So we've got a few more things that we're trying to line out, plus we have the meeting with them tomorrow. We're gonna do a walkthrough. And, I'll probably have a little bit of an update after that. I guess I can just email out an update.
Yeah, what time y'all meeting on this?
1 o'clock. So, but I am happy about that update on the plumbing. That helps out now, if I can just get that electrical number, and then we can start moving forward on a lot of these items. Any questions?
Questions for Chief? I know we're all gonna have probably more questions after tomorrow, so.
Are we gonna review out there tomorrow, approved drawings?
No.
Building, or have they already submitted?
So what we have on that is
Just sketches that don't go through anything.
So what we have is the actual blueprints for the original building. But these are being redone for us. And the specs are in the bid that they bid out, that the engineer put out for them to bid on. And then the floor plan modifications is what I sent them, because I like a few tweaks to the floor plan after the bidding process, which they said, dollar for dollar is fine. And so far, they like all the changes that I've said. So that's what this is. This is just the floor plan that I had changed. So that works better for operation wise and stuff like that. That's what this is. The plans, the blueprints, and all the specifications are our buildings, but not with the changes. And don't anticipate that to be there. I told him that was asked for, and he said, you don't have that. So anticipate that.
We'll see what they have, because right now, without specifications, I do not know how to build this big building. We see these sketches, we see what they're saying, they give them a price, but we don't know really what we're getting right now.
They gave the original specifications for the original building, which has all the specifications that they've done. These things are the alternate, what are you at? This is just the alternate.
I know what your intent is, but their floor plan doesn't match what you requested. So they don't have the opening between your hallway and their hallway as a door, a cased opening, or an opening. They have it as a wall.
Yeah.
So those are the things that the reason I would like their actual what they're building to, rather than just kind of a sketch, because if that's what they're building, that is not what we requested.
Right, so that, we're actually probably gonna be asking them to go back this way, so
Right.
that's not too big of a deal right now, because
Want to make sure we're not
Probably
hit with
gonna go
change
this way.
orders. If they frame that in and they put metal on the side, now we're going to tell them to cut it out and put it in a 4-foot door,
it's gonna be smart siding, but still.
whatever it is.
We're gonna
It's-
line all that stuff out tomorrow when we talk to them.
Yes, sir.
What's the price difference on these 3 glass doors inside compared to a wooden door?
So, that's a good question. It brings up my point about the original blueprint. So the original blueprint of the building calls for X number of windows, X number of doors, and stuff like that. So, in talking to them, I said, well, we've eliminated X number of windows, and we've eliminated X number of doors. In trade, can you upgrade my door, the captain's door, the front office door to a glass door? I mean, it's a wood door with a glass center. And I asked if we could upgrade that in trade for using less windows and stuff like that. And they said, sure, no problem. So all these little modifications that I've made, they've honored at no cost to us because I've given up a lot of windows. There's a lot of windows we didn't need and stuff like that. So. I'll have a lot more answers. If y'all have more questions, you can email them to me. I got a lot more answers after tomorrow, I'm sure.
When do you believe that they'll actually put a building out back? When does that, do you have a time frame? When
It's gotta be somewhere in the beginning of, October. It takes them about 2 months to get it ready. With all these modifications, everything that we're doing, takes them 2 months. And when we started talking, we were ahead of the people that they just finished. And because of some delays and stuff, I got put behind them. So I accidentally let somebody ahead of me. And so that delayed it about 6 weeks or so. So now we're looking at first, second week of October. But we're still good on time.
You can still finish by December 31st.
Oh, yes, yeah. And without it, with that delay and my going back and forth with the electrical thing, I don't think it would have mattered because I'm still working on the electrical. Hopefully it's all going to be resolved on Thursday.
Yeah, but just curious what that.
Any other questions for Chief concerning the building? I have no. I don't see any action that needs to be taken on any of these. So moving on to number 9, consider items related to the FEMA parking lot repairs and city road repairs from that 2024 spring flood.
Okay, we held the bid. It was opened the 19th of August. We had, I think, 7 general contractors picked up the plans along with a lot of sub-consultants. Unfortunately, we only received 1 bid. You have the bid tab behind the report. It was Vera Industries. There was a base bid of $505,432.63. And then there was an alternate bid, or section F, which was extra work items that I included in there. There were some items that FEMA had that we were repairing, a 1-foot section along the edge of the road, or maybe a 2-foot section. Those are difficult to repair. So I took those and added quantities to take them up to an 8-foot to see what the pricing came back at. That was $110,628. So we do have, we go back and look at the base bid. That is what FEMA was inside of their numbers to bid. At this point, due to the price and all, greatly exceeding what FEMA estimate was, along with just receiving one bid. And then I also talked to 2 of the contractors that had picked up to find out why they hadn't bid. And their answers were both that the timing was they could not get to it within the next 30 days. So I asked if we were to come back and rebid this, if council were to rebid this, would they be able to bid it and do the work at the end of the year? They could. So based on all of those items, I am making the recommendation to council that you consider rejecting the bid and allowing us to rebid the project.
No, I agree. Yeah, we have no one bid with that.
I agree. A couple of quick questions. Does FEMA have a cap? Right, this is a reimbursable up to 75%, I believe.
So FEMA set a specific dollar amount where the project, the city pays for the project and then puts that in and gives reimbursed for 75%. The city has a 25% skin in the game on it. I think the total amount on that was around $300,000 for both the park, walking track and parking area, and these repairs. So we have some work to do budget-wise to get to those numbers.
And that was based on a FEMA estimate or the engineering budget developed by the designers, or how did we get to that $300,000 number?
So when we walked the project, FEMA took all of those, went back to there, gave us what they thought it was. Chief and I argued with them, provided them some information that said that was not adequate. They increased that dollar amount up to where we are, which is now showing that that's not adequate. So Chief is talking to the contact that he has with FEMA and the state to see what we can do with actual bid numbers to get that increased. And if not, we've got some budget work to do.
All right, any other discussion on this? So we would need to reject the current bid and actually give the engineer permission to go out and solicit bids, advertise bids.
Do we need to pick a time to do that? You said that they didn't have time to get to it in the next 30 days. Do we need to postpone this until some lull in the general bidding schedule for asphalt repair, or how do we do that to get the best participation?
So we've talked about bidding to where we would have it at the next September meeting. It would take us 2 to 3 weeks to get contracts ready. So that puts us into the portion of October, which they have available for that. So we would go ahead and start advertising now and have it for you for the September council meeting.
Okay. And what is our cost when we advertise for bids? So we advertised, we didn't get good participation, we need to do it again. What is the cost that we incur when we advertise?
Our cost, we put the ads in the Houston Business Journal and then also the Montgomery County Courier, but our official paper is the Houston Business Journal, and then it's on CivCast. It cost us $216 for CivCast, and the bid itself, the advertising there, is around $3,000. And then our fees are just minimal, because we're just reusing the previous.
Still think it's money well spent to try to get better participation, but it's frustrating to have to do it.
Yeah, weather has been good for any type of construction going on, so
Absolutely.
everybody's got plenty to do.
Okay.
So we would just need a motion to deny the bid for Vera Industries, correct? And authorize city engineer to advertise for bids.
Do we have to give a justification for that, for lack of participation, or we just have the right to reject it?
You can reject all bids if the legal says that the bidder was, put it out for bid, so they have the right.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's also
But you don't need to actually give your, you discussed those reasons there, subsumed within your motion.
Motion on the floor?
I'd like to make the motion that we reject the bid from Vera Industries for the related FEMA work to the parking lot repairs and city repairs at this time, and then authorize the city engineer to rebid the project to increase participation.
Motion has been made. Councilman Davis, do I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Warwick, beat you to it. He seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor of approval? It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 10, discuss and consider approval of a residential proposal of a variance at 116 Artesia Way to allow a utility trailer to be parked on the driveway. Okay, someone passed out the packet to us. So, the floor is open to discussion. Council, is a resident here? You're welcome to come up to the podium. You're Rebecca?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Well, hi everyone. I'm Rebecca. I live at 116. I've been there since July of 2022. My better half over there in the corner, Walker, and we run Maui's Meals. I started the business about a year ago. It's a homemade dog food and treat business, selling human-grade dog food and treats. And the business kind of just started taking off and started booming. It was something that I started more as like a side hustle. And I'm in retail shops now, selling over at the Cowboy Feed Store off of 1485, a couple different pet resorts. And for those that haven't heard of Maui's Meals in the room, be sure to check us out, like all things. I'm here tonight seeking approval for that variance for the ordinance that prevents me from putting that utility trailer in my driveway. I was not aware of that and then researched it and saw that it's old code that was put in place probably a bunch of years ago before the townhomes that I live in were built. So the ordinance kind of doesn't make sense with the structure and design of the home. I have no way to access the side of the building nor the back of the building. So there's nowhere for me to put that trailer. So given all that, I'd like to submit that request for an approval of that variance to that code.
All right. So this utility trailer, it is parked there for an extended period of time? Does it come and go daily?
Not daily. It depends on which events and vendor markets I'm attending. Typically, it's about twice, 3 times a month that I have to move it out, in and out of the driveway. I have already gotten consent from the neighbors directly next to me. I'm like, hey, is this a problem? Are do you have anything, to contest that with? And they were okay with it. So with all that and considering all the different things, I'm hoping that it won't be too much of an issue.
The townhomes have a garage. Is there a reason it can't be placed in the garage?
So the garage is utilized for all of my 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom home and all the storage that we have. So there's nowhere for me to put the 5x8 trailer inside of the garage. It's just a 1-car garage, so it acts as my storage. It doesn't come and go very often. It's just, like I said, a couple of times a month. But the primary problem with putting it into a storage unit is that I don't have direct access to it all the time. So all of my supplies and everything that I use to cook the meals, to do advertising, to set up for the markets, all those things are in the trailer. And that's why I got it, because the storage of my garage has exceeded and I had nowhere to put any of my business supplies.
Yeah, that trailer probably would not go into your garage anyway because of the height on it. Councilman Reed?
One of the things that I looked at is one of the things I was looking at was the trailer possibly a different kind of vehicle. If this was a truck, we wouldn't be having this conversation, basically. And when you drive up and down the street, there's a lot of trailers parked in a lot of different angles. Most of them, because we have this imaginary line across the front of the house, and as long as they're in back that line, they're okay. Based upon what she wants to use this for, the fact it's to help our little furry friends, if you would, I don't have a problem with her putting the trailer in the driveway.
Thank you, Councilman. Let's continue the conversation. Let's hear from Ms. Lane.
I'd like to wait to hear from the other council.
Say it again.
I'd like to hear the other council's opinion.
Okay, what you got, Councilman Sanders?
I'm looking at the fact that we have so many trailers in the city right now, and everybody's having to adhere to the ordinance, and this is a rental unit. I don't blame it having rental, but I think we're doing a disservice to our residents out here to give a variance on that one person, because once we let the first person do, we're gonna have everybody that out here want to do the same thing. Okay? So I'm not for it.
Okay, go ahead, Councilman.
I'd have to agree with Councilman Sanders. It's not for lack of sympathy for the situation, but if we grant the variance for yours, what prevents your neighbor who has a travel trailer from leaving it there?
They would have to apply for the variance as well and pay them
Right,
$50,
but we
right?
can't deny their variance if we approved yours.
Absolutely.
Right, so then your next neighbor has a 16-foot utility trailer.
Well,
and
but
this-
you can approve it with a condition, right? It's
No,
for this trailer.
But again, we're making a one-time approval for a variance that everybody else is gonna want a variance as well. I can tell you there are council members that have travel trailers that have to store them where they would rather not, whether it's off-site or inconveniently, because our ordinance affects us all.
Right.
Right? I've got other neighbors with utility trailers that have to store theirs off-site or in their backyard, and
Those are recreational vehicles though, right? They're
no,
not used for livelihood?
there's ATV utility trailers, there's car utility trailers, there's recreational vehicles. My point is, right, once we start granting variances, then we don't have a legitimate reason not to grant them to everybody who asks. If it's a hardship, right? I don't have a place to access my backyard, I don't have a gate in my backyard, then why can't I
So
park
should
my
I be
utility?
penalized or have to suffer because I'm a renter and not an owner of the town? I did the exact same thing that all other residents would do, the same process. And it's not a recreational vehicle or trailer. I'm used for my
Understand,
livelihood.
right? Understand, but the ordinance was written for a reason, it's been maintained for 20 years for a
Right.
reason.
So would my next steps be something like put in a request for a revision to an ordinance? I mean, it's not my fault or any of the other residents who live in those townhomes that we cannot access our backyard or the side of my house to put things like a utility trailer there.
I understand the issue, I just think that's a consideration when you rent that property, that you don't have access to
Yeah,
that.
I rented
Right,
back
so
in
there's-
22, and so this wasn't
Same thing
existing.
for the apartments that are on Appian Way, right? They have no options, so there is no backyard there. They can't have a trailer.
Let's hear from Councilman Warwick. I'm curious what you have to say on this.
Well, I agree with both of them, because I had to move my travel trailer out of my driveway, so that's what the ordinance reads, so.
I had to sell one that wouldn't fit because I couldn't store it there.
Some insight, I did have a travel trailer myself and I parked it in the driveway because I said, hey, I see everybody else around town, I should have no problem with that. Parked it there, got coded, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's for the campers. And I did move it, Ms. Linda Stewart graciously allows me to park it on her property for rental, and, I did move it. But this is something else that's not a recreational thing. And that's what I'm trying to stress to everybody, is that sometimes there are exceptions that can be made, and I'm asking you to take that into consideration for a quite old ordinance that has been made before those townhomes were built.
So again, just double advocate, right? If it's a plumbing business or an AC business that's got a utility trailer, you let them do it?
Why not?
Because
It's their driveway.
Because it's the general appearance of the neighborhood is why the
Absolutely.
ordinance is written.
So,
Right, I
So it
understand that,
keeps-
the intent.
It's my front yard, but I can't put a car up on blocks in the front yard.
Well, I mean, I could rebuttal that and say that there's plenty of people who leave plenty of trash in the front yard. as you can see in one of the photos
It's
that I
against the
provided.
ordinance.
Right, but they're not getting
Which-
cited and told that they can't do A, B, C, and D. And,
I would disagree with that and say that as we are aware of them, we cite them, right? They don't see everything every time.
Right.
But as it's brought to their attention, I think chief and code enforcement do enforce the ordinances, and I'm not aware of any that we don't enforce other than trash cans can't be visible from the street.
what about the bean bag that's been sitting out there for 3 months?
I'm sorry?
There's a bean bag that's been sitting on the corner of where the mailboxes are.
Again, not
And
aware of
again,
it.
right, but again, it's not until somebody says anything, so nothing was done about it until it's brought to someone's attention.
That's
So-
correct.
So, okay, I've kind of got, well, we're still gonna put this to a vote, council, because they do deserve, she does deserve an answer on this. But I think the conversation now is not really about that anymore. So to answer your question, yes, there's a process. You can get a council person here, or you, get a plan together. If you would like to see an ordinance
Yeah.
changed or amended, there's a process to do that, absolutely. I mean, that's what all these people are here
Right.
to do. I would suggest probably that would be the direction to go.
Yeah, I understand there are
yeah.
rules, I get it, I really do, and I'm
Yeah.
not trying to disrespect them at all. I'm here just applying for variances, I was, informed that's the process.
Yes,
So,
but I do appreciate you coming up here and at least bringing it to our attention instead of just doing it.
yeah,
And
well,
then-
like I said,
Yeah.
once I was told that it was not allowed, I moved the camper, but I thought that it was only campers.
Yes.
So then I got the trailer, thinking it wouldn't be an issue, and then, ran into the same thing, so.
Yes. So, I do want to give you an answer at this time. I do not want to just no action this, if I can find it. So council, we're looking at, discuss, consider approval of residence proposal. This, they were asking for a variance at 116 Artesian Way to allow the utility trailer to be parked in the driveway. So that is the motion to either allow or not allow that, to grant the variance or not. Councilwoman Lane, your vote.
I'm gonna have to read the council down, can't allow that, everybody wants to know.
Okay, that's a no. Councilman Sanders, your vote?
No.
Okay. Councilman Davis, your vote?
No.
Councilman Warwick?
No.
Councilman Reasoner?
Yes.
Okay, we've got Councilman Reasoner voting for, all other council is voting against, so the variance is not allowed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, council, to number 11. Consider and approve voting for representatives of the Montgomery County Emergency Communications District.
Yes, sir. This comes across every year at this time. The only person that reached out to the city is the one who's put his resume in the back on the ballot. That's Sam Magel from Shenandoah, I believe. He's new, came from Huntsville. He's the only one that reached out, but
I'd rather go with Councilman Mullane's thoughts down here. Go ahead.
Well, Mayor, we've done this every year, and since we don't know anybody on these boards, I would always recommend just taking no action. So, that's because the fact we don't interact with them, we don't know, it's a process they have to go through, so the next two items on the download is we take no action.
Captain's gonna take care of it. So, I would say, council, I am going to no action number 11, unless somebody gives me a nod to the different. Okay, no action number 11. Is he taking care of that? Because I can't shut the door.
He's taking care of it.
Okay. Moving on to item 12, consider and approve voting for representatives for the Board of Trustees for the Texas Municipal League Intergovernmental Risk Pool.
Mayor, I stated I'd like to do the first one, I'll suggest we take no action.
I'm going to go no action on number 12, council. Moving on to 13, review and consider approving an updated agreement in the city of Roman Forest with Thornberry Development Southern Oaks Water System for development in Phase 2, Section 4.
the contract stayed the same since the last month. The only change is on letter O.
Okay.
And in your packet, it's highlighted in yellow where Ryan has donated those 3 properties.
Yes.
One that was last time, which was the 1.2 acres, and then also donated the property right in front of it, which gave access into that part of the park. and the other one is at the far end of his, where he's building, which Chief can talk better on the county-owned easement between the two that Commissioner Gray is going to be willing to give us as an easement for a walking path. And that has nothing to do with what Ryan's doing. Ryan is just donating the 2 properties. We'll provide park things for them, being parks, and then the walkway.
So the reserve stays part of it, right, Ryan? But they're in a property on the end of it, if I've seen it right here. What do you think about that access, Chief, for visibility?
So I like it. Did somebody have a map in front
So
of them?
the one that you texted me, so the one at the very end, it has the easement, call it like a pipeline easement that runs street to street, and then a residential property on either end for access. And then we'd have to decide whether to put parking there or just on-street parking or.
No, I've seen that. I like that.
Yes.
setup.
So all the other council members seen that, Chief?
I
If
thought
not, you
everybody
can show that map to everybody if you want to take that, just show them.
Yeah, I didn't bring mine, but I've seen it.
Not as ideal as I would like, but.
This is, so there was no visibility from the road, so people will know they had this land, which is fine, this is about foot in the back.
Yeah, I know, but I get it. I
Commissioners
understand.
donating.
Can't complain a lot about the free.
Right away.
No.
So it gives us over 100 feet of visibility, people a little bit of parking and stuff like that, there's that fixtures there, walking track, which we would be responsible for, come from the commissioner. We can still have visibility here on the track, and then this is over here, and it ties it all together.
I suppose we can pull that up on the screen.
Child safety zone. A little bit of parking over here. Commissioners, he's all on I understand, my only concern is track back there, wood fence in the back of the, sort of a head zone right now.
I didn't like that, but Tavola does the same thing, and I used the walking path over at Tavola, and it's no different. You walk behind people's houses, and they have, you just picket fences. That was my sense.
Well, that's his. So that is a valid point to think about, you know, that, okay, right now, what's happening behind those people's houses are, well, it's only a few people right now, but 5 4-wheelers going through there. They go through there to hit this little area in Wood Branch where they ride 4-wheelers and they go back and forth. And it bothers people, we get phone calls all the time. So this would help us mitigate that, for one, because we're now adopting it as a park. And also, in comparison, Tavola, every house in Tavola has a walking trail behind it, almost. And they have extensive walking trails. We've had very few problems over there. We patrol the park, so we've had very few problems with those trails, which surprised me. I thought there was going to be a lot more problems, but there's not. So,
I like the idea of that because there's a lot of rules he can apply when it's designated as a park.
yes.
The 4-wheelers running up and down it are one of the things that you can kind of.
And I did talk to the developer.
I have the same problem where I live.
And the developer said they put some amenities on one side, they put some amenities on the other
Question for
side.
the developer, is he gonna put an improved path along there, or is it just going to be grass?
So I would love for him to do that, but he hasn't offered that, and I haven't asked him if that would be for y'all to talk about. The only thing I mentioned to him, I was about to see maybe off the track side, like a small little exercise station or something, kind of like what we have up here. But that would be for you guys to talk to him about. I've done my talking, right?
Yeah, as far as on that pipeline walking trail that she's wanting to do, I can't, nor am I going to commit to something because I don't own that property. I'm going to build the pipeline, and I talked to Chief about that, and he's got some people he knows that y'all can get the easement, at least for the pedestrian site or something. I'm willing to help on that, but I'm not going, I can't commit and say I'm going to do this on property that I don't even own. So, but I do want to help and try to make some improvements on there with the chief on what he's trying to do.
I'm sure.
Wait for Councilman Blaine. I'm sorry. Y'all have any thoughts or comments on this? Any questions on it? We'll wait on Councilman Blaine.
And that was the only change in the contract, was specifying that?
That, the date, first of that change the date, they decided, that's it, just the two changes.
I think the last meeting, Scott had sent over a blue line, that was all fine with me.
Yeah, that's-
And the properties are,
That's what they have today.
Right.
I just highlighted in yellow what I put in for the.
So that's the only thing that's
properties.
changed.
and the properties are clarified on which ones will have road assessments and which ones will not. The three off the boulevard will not have.
They're not in those, they won't be, they're not back in.
Right.
Those three names are.
So what's highlighted on code and the date of the contract, that's all that's changed.
That's well, right.
Yes, from the last.
So do y'all want me to go to the commissioner and say thumbs up on going through with that plan?
I mean,
We'll after tonight if he signs the contract.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, any other questions? So all that's changed is, you can see what's highlighted on O and the date of the contract. So I would just need a motion second to approve it as written. And then with that, I would say absolutely, let's talk to the commissioner to turn that over to us for our use.
He said we'll start with interlocal agreement, assigning it to us for our use of the park. And if we wanted to actually get it into our name, we would talk to the other tax entities.
Yep, that's, because it is a tax trust, it's a tax trust.
Montgomery County tax trust.
Yeah. All right. Just need a motion to accept the contract with changes.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the updated agreement between the city of Rome Forest and Dormitory Development / Southern Open Water System for development in phase 2, section 4 with revisions. With
amendments, revisions. Okay. Motion has been made, Councilman Mullane, to accept it with the revisions. Do I have a second? Councilman Sanders, any other discussion? All in favor of approval? It is unanimous. Number 14, discuss, consider the implementation of zoning regulations for the city of Rolling Forest, take any possible action to establish policy. So this is our zoning that stays in here. Update me on that. What's our next zoning? Have we scheduled it yet?
I'm sorry, not tonight. It would be a zoning, it would be a workshop, it would be a public hearing.
That is correct. So we need to schedule a public hearing, and then that would be first, and then we can go into the workshop afterwards. Is that what we're going to do that?
So we wouldn't need to do a workshop.
Would not.
It would be a public hearing, which we would need to have a 15-day notice published prior to the actual hearing published in the newspaper. We would not need to do the written notices for that public hearing. And accept public comments, and then make essentially a report that would then need to be voted on in a later council meeting.
Do we have to have something to present at the public hearing, or do we have to have the ordinance finished? Because the council members are going to go back and review the maps and discuss the different types of zoning categories.
No, so you would need to present at the meeting in which the council, the governing body, is actually approving and enacting the actual ordinance.
We're meeting-
This public hearing, it would technically be a public hearing for the meeting of the commission. And the commission would put together the report.
Just an open discussion and what we're.
Be an open discussion and then
finalized.
Well, hopefully, if people want to bring the variations of the different ordinances and then have the public put their comments and input in, and then the commission would approve essentially a final ordinance, which would then be presented to council for the next step in the process, which would be an actual regular city council meeting, which you can then approve or disapprove of what is the presented ordinance.
Okay, so when you look out, because it has to be 15-day prior notice for the commission to meet at this public hearing. For the commission to hold a public hearing.
Will that be around September?
Yeah, or anytime afterwards, after that.
15 calendar days, not
15
calendar days, correct.
So we currently have the 8th as a tax rate here, public hearing.
No, sir, that's moved to the 1st, at 5:30.
I'm sorry.
First, yeah, I'm out from the 4th to the 14th. So it'd have to be, for me to be present, it would have to be after the 14th.
Well, I want you.
You won't be here?
Realistically, to get it into the newspaper and everything, would likely have to be after the 14th anyway.
Anyway, yeah. So let's look at that week, the week of the 14th, the week of the 21st. Let's look at dates on that. And we do need to go ahead and get this set.
Fine with you.
Let's go with, I would rather do it on a Tuesday. So the 15th works for me, or the 22nd.
We have court here on the 15th.
Okay, so the 22nd works for me. Or we can do it on Wednesday. I try not to do things like that on Wednesday, but we can do that.
27's okay with me.
Okay, 22nd?
I might have it as a city council meeting on the second Tuesday of every month, and I think that would be just push it to October. Or sorry, that would be the fourth. Would that be the fourth meeting? That would be the fourth Tuesday.
Fourth Tuesday.
Yeah, I would be in a different. You don't necessarily need me, but if you'd like me.
Yeah.
I think you too.
I don't know that we would. We're just taking input and discussion. We're meeting as a planning commission.
Just never happened before.
I don't know.
I'd rather be happy.
Yeah. I'm all right, so then we can back up and say, if the Wednesday works with everyone, we can do it on Wednesday.
That's right, the 16th.
16th?
16th is fine. That actually gives us time to get something into the council package for the 28th.
Okay.
If we have it all
that's
worked
true.
out.
Yeah, I like that. 16th?
Mr. Reason, you okay with the 16th?
Yes, 16th of,
16th at 5 or 5:30?
Probably 5:30.
Give people a chance to get here. So let's go ahead and set the meeting for the 16th at 5:30.
And this is the, what do you call it?
Zoning commission meeting, zoning commission public hearing to take input. We're not meeting as city council, we're meeting as the zoning planning commission. Do you need a motion to do that, or we just set it? Okay. So, okay, any other discussion on number 14? We did not go into closed session, so nothing to vote on. City council request for future agenda items. I will start with Councilman Davis.
In light of the public comments this meeting, I would like to propose a a new ordinance for election integrity. So the two parts to it would be that any elected official that seeks another elected position while currently serving a term other than running for re-election must resign their position at the time they declare their intent to run for the other elected position and not following the results of the election. The second part to that is the person that runs for the other position, if they are elected to it, must recuse themselves from either nominating or voting on the vacancy created by their resignation. So I've sent that draft ordinance for review and would like to have that included in the next council meeting. Obviously, that will not affect this election. It will affect elections going forward. If it's possible to have it affect the not being able to vote on their replacement, I would like that to be considered for this. I think that there is a conflict when somebody steps out of a position and can pick their own replacement. I think it is not fair to the voters that I would have a say in who that person is.
And I would expect that that person would recuse themselves from participating in that process anymore.
I'll tell you what, the first part of that violates state law.
It does not.
Yes, but we can't discuss it here. We're going to discuss it when it's actually on the agenda. It's not. So it's on there.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I think we need to add to that specifically the Roman Forest election, because there's a lot of elections for a lot of different people, and if that's just open-ended for an election, I don't think we want that. So I think we need to be a little more definitive on the election.
I agree completely. The intent was for council or mayoral positions within the city of Roman Forest, and we need to clarify that. That is correct.
Okay, other agenda items? For the 20, what'd you say that date was? For the next meeting?
16th. Oh, the 28th.
28th, yes. All right. Anyone else, council have anything else we need to talk about before we adjourn?
Mayor, make a motion to adjourn for the meeting.
I have a motion on the floor, Councilwoman Lane, to adjourn for the evening. All those in favor of adjourn, no, I'm sorry, I need a second for that. Councilman Sanders, seconds. All in favor of adjournment? It is unanimous. This meeting is adjourned. The time is 7:18.
Circuit.